Hello, guys, and welcome back to Cedi Investor. In today's episode, we have the GSE News Wrap. I'm bringing back this, should I call it, segment of the Cedi Investor channel where I go over the most prominent news and just give my thoughts on them. I think it's been a while since I did this, and so yeah, we are going to do that. Let's get into the video. So we have here 4 billion cocoa inflows to rescue the cedi. If you guys don't know, I think the cedi has been depreciating over the past, I'll say, 1 month. We could see that in January we're trading around 14 cedis, and we had the massive appreciation, trading now around 10 Ghana cedis. But now the cedi is trading, according to Google, around 11.72. There's something to just take notice of. Seeing such a depreciation in such a short time is a little bit of a concern. But 4 billion coming in, I think that would, help bolster our foreign reserves, and I think maybe the Bank of Ghana could start, just supporting the market, because the main reason they are not supporting the market or the FX market is because of World Bank and IMF. They made, claims to the government to stop heavy interventions because it's creating some sort of artificial appreciation. It's not really because of demand and supply dynamics. That's why the cedi is appreciating. It's more of the government is providing a lot of support on the market, FX support, and that's what's causing the cedi to appreciate. So I think that's a good thing. We have here, what news do we have here? Stanbic, Ecobank, and GCB lead Ghana's AI banking transformation. Really? I didn't even know Ghana we had an AI transformation. It's called Gen AI, generative AI. I'm assuming generative AI is like, chat box, like financial advisory bots, those kind of AI tools that help operational efficiencies. So if banks are trying to include this into their business, especially in Ghana, I could definitely see it helping them in terms of maybe retention rates, also adopting more people, increase. I think from the report it said it has increased their deposits from last year by about like 32%. So yeah, it's a good thing. I think more banks should be doing more of these things, because it's going to help them be more efficient. And secondly, you can't be using archaic ways of doing things when there's like new modern ways of doing things that are more efficient and more effective. So yeah, I think that's a good thing. MTN Ghana CEO takes helms as new chair of telecom chamber. All right, that's good, Steven. That's good. 4 prices to rise from September 1st as cedi depreciation drives cost. Meaning this could, spark another debate between passengers and trotro drivers, because they are going to increase their prices as well. You could just see it coming. I think we all know that the cedi heavily affects the price of fuel in Ghana. So if there's a massive depreciation in the cedi, the price of fuel tend to go up, and it's the same way fuel prices went down when the cedi started appreciation. So it's kind of expected. And one thing about price of fuel is that it seeps into every other thing in Ghana. I want to see the dynamics of how this is going to affect inflation. Is inflation going to start also rising? Because inflation is close to government's target of about, what is it, 11 or 12%? I don't even remember. But then, yeah, I would want to see how that affects the whole dynamics of inflation. And if we could see inflation, climbing back up, then the Bank of Ghana is going to be very, very cautious on cutting rates. And if they don't cut rates, we could see yields on interest going back up, which could be, a good thing for banks, but generally not a good thing for consumers in general. You are still going to be borrowing at high rates, You're going to be buying things at inflated prices. And even when it comes to investing, you now have to make sure your real return is way higher so that you can just beat inflation. Joe Jackson warns BOG's 10% NPL target could squeeze SME lending. So it has to do with non-performing loans with banks, and BOG is saying that by end of 2026, December 2026, so not even this year, end of December 2026, every bank must make sure that their non-performing loans ratio falls below 10%. And failure for this is that they would be prevented from paying dividends and any bonus payments. And two is that they won't be allowed to increase their loan portfolio. So they can't increase their loan size until they get within that 10% NPL range. Right? I don't know if that makes sense, what I'm saying. And I think we are in a country where non-performing loan is an issue for a lot of the banks. There's always complaints that people don't pay their loans, but I'm of the viewpoint that even though yes, a lot of Ghanaians' mentalities are, most of them are not willing to pay back loans. The issue isn't really only based on the customers. The banks in itself don't even give out a lot of loans. Let me just list that down. Banks don't even give out loans as much. Secondly, we have banks that are actually giving out loans and fall below that 10% range already. And that even comes during a period where we would say Ghana has had massive macroeconomic headwinds. And I'm not even going to use the big traditional banks, but I'm even going to focus on, the less companies like Bayport Ghana. Bayport Ghana, the last time I went through their statement, their NPL was below 10%. Even Let's Go Ghana, Let's Go, their NPL is below 10%. So we have even these private institutions who I would say they even deal with, the market women, the other individuals who are less likely to pay, and they are able to navigate. They are steadily growing their loan sizes, and they are able to navigate and make sure people pay back, especially in a low interest environment. So I'm assuming banks who have even more data sets, they have more resources on hand, should be able to also follow suit. Yes, it's going to be difficult for people. It's not like the BOG is even saying if you fall below, if you don't meet the 10% NPL target, you have to pay some fine or anything. No, it's as the shareholders, we are the ones going to, bear all the pays, because they said you are not allowed to pay dividends. Who is the one going to receive dividends? This is me, the shareholder. So I'm the one going to suffer. So I would even say it's even a benefit for you, the business. If you're not paying dividends, it means what? The money is kept within the company for whatever functions or whatever you need to do, and shareholders can't complain about that. Maybe they will complain from the perspective of they want you to fix up your fundamentals so that you pay dividends, and I think it's all good. Like, you get pressure from shareholder, you get pressure from BOG, you have to clean up your ads, you have to make sure your 10% NPL, you fall below the 10% NPL. And when it comes to the SME, he's saying that, when you read the news, he's saying that the SME lending is, if you don't know what SME is small and medium enterprises. He's saying that they are considered riskier businesses. So it's like, if you are telling me that I have to make sure I fall below a 10% non-performing loan target, I would give loans solely on risky people that I am assuming they are going to pay. But for SMEs that are highly risky businesses, I won't give my loans to them, which makes sense. Yes, I get it. But it's also the structures you put in place to make sure those people pay back those loans. So, like, I think I always use this example where I'm saying people in the US, like, you assume because US is a credit country, or a lot of countries abroad are credit oriented, they don't default. They default. There's a lot of people in those countries who default a lot. But it's because of the measures that the banks have put in place, that the governments have put in place, that they are able to navigate to those things. We have also the, I also say, even when it comes to I don't know, the processes we've put in place before the loan is even given out. Information, Ghana, one thing I've realized is an issue here is data. We common Ghana card, someone should fill an address for that. The person will go fill some address B. If you go check, even the map, like the person is not even staying there. So there's a lot of misinformation and misrepresentation when it comes to data collection, which really hurts the bank. So it's like you don't even have a correct data set on the person or the business you are giving the loan to. So how are you able to determine if that person is actually the right person to give the loan to? I don't know if that makes sense, but I also even though I agree with the BOG, they should put in measures like this. They should sharpen up the banks. They need more pressure. But I also get his point of not wanting to give more loans to SMEs if they are riskier. But I feel like if there are processes in place, that shouldn't really be a matter. And other companies are already doing it, so it's not like it hasn't been done. It has been done. Other companies are doing it, so banks, especially the traditional banks, can do it as well. Cocoa processing company tops August with 50% share price gain. And when I saw this, I was really like, it was very funny to me. I don't know who bought this. Like, I'm assuming it's just like a newer investor who just saw the price, thought, wow, like 0.02 or something, like I should buy this. Or it was just like, I'm just confused. Or is it like a seasoned investor who has some sort of information about the company that I'm just so blind that I can't see what that information is? Or it could be like some officer be like, he has some insider trading information, because I was very, very surprising when I saw this. CPC, company makes losses. The company, Charlie, it will be too long if I have to explain this, but it was really surprising to me. The only other thing that I'll probably just maybe share with you guys based on this is that you shouldn't always be happy when you get into a particular stock and the share price is moving, especially in Ghana. Because let me promise you, a company like CPCA, maybe you bought it, it has moved 50%. That's a wild gain in just a few days to get. Let me promise you that if the guy who bought this right now wants to sell it, let's see if there's someone willing to buy it. I promise you, it will take a year before he's able to sell this thing. But then that's my view. Probably the guy is seeing something I'm not too. We also have Treasury bill auction, 50% under subscription as government keeps rates low. Alright, so I think over the past week, Treasury bills actually went down, but there's not a lot of liquidity in that particular market. People don't want to really heavily invest into Treasury bills because rates are low. So if you want to make more money or more returns, you are looking at other places. Because Ghana's stock market is not really developed, and the size is not even that big, so huge institutional liquidity can't just go into Ghana stocks. So the bond market too is a little bit, there's still some little concerns about the bond market. So I'm not sure that's where the institutional liquidity is going to. They were moving it towards BOG bills, but then that one, it's not like it's every week. That one is as and when the Bank of Ghana wants to come in mop up liquidity. So and they can choose to accept or not to. That's not like a long-term case for institutional liquidity. So I guess right now, those with the huge amount of money on hand, they have to start thinking, where can they get the most return? Where can they send their money out to? So I feel like it's a dilemma. Hopefully, if the cedi continues to go up, fuel prices increases, inflation increases, then maybe yields could also increase. So that's a possibility, but would wait and see. But I think my question would be, is anyone still buying treasury bills? And if not, what are like your alternatives? What are you currently doing instead of treasury bills? And I think we'll end off with this story. I think it's quite interesting. Here it said unemployment dips to 13.1% in Q4 2024, but youth joblessness remains high. Now, sometimes this is why like I question Ghana reporting or the data from Ghana. I mean, Ghana Statistical Service. This report is from them, and they are the institution that they have been tasked to report most of the data we have in Ghana. They give our inflation data, our GDP data. So, they have a lot of resources on hand. But my question is, the unemployment dipping, where did it dip to? Like, I want to understand who is the one employing? Who, like, where are niggas getting those jobs? Because me, I've not been seeing them. So, I mean, it is quite interesting, but they are saying that the youth joblessness still remains high. I think this even brings me back to my point on the lending. If there's not a lot of loose and relaxed interest on lending, people are less likely to go and take out loans. Like, I mean, I'm not going to take out a loan at a 25%, 30%, 40% interest if I'm not even assured that the business I'm going to is going to succeed or not. If the economy is not even conducive enough to sustain such a business, why would I like risk it to even go and take such a loan? Like, it doesn't make sense, right? But as interests are now like quite low, I'm assuming if banks were even charging anywhere between 15 to at most 18%, I feel like that's like, it's good enough. Like, I'm willing to at least take that risk. Take, about 100k, 200k, start something up. Like, individuals are more likely to start up more businesses if they know that, the risks of them failing that particular business is not going to like bankrupt them or something like that. I know that's just like my thought process. So I think that's the end of today's video. Thank you so much for watching. Let me know what your thoughts are on all the news that I think we've gone through today. I would really love to know. Thank you so much, and have a wonderful and blessed rest of your week. Peace.